Hey, I'm Drew, and this is the Drew Petersen Podcast, home to one chairlift ride, ski pole microphone, and real story at a time. This chairlift chat is with Dan Parisi. The premise, hug your homies and tell them you love them. Dan plastered that message on green stickers to start conversations about mental health in the Alta Ski community, following the loss of a friend to death by suicide. But these stickers became a sensation reaching far beyond just his community. So last spring, I linked up with Dan to ask him what lies within such a seemingly simple but powerful message. Before we drop in, a quick note from this episode's sponsor. You know when you find that ski and everything's dialed and you think to yourself, nothing about this needs changing? Well, that was the QST line from Salomon. But guess what? The QST line got a full redesign this year. No, not because anything needed changing, but because Salomon knew that they could make it even better. They knew that they could make it more playful, more versatile, and more consistent across the board. Personally, I've been skiing the QST 106 for the past 8 years, ever since I joined Salomon. It's been one of my favorite skis, and this redesign made it even better. So if you're thinking about some new skis, click the link in the show notes, the newsletter, or on my website. I know it's an extra step, but clicking that link helps to support me, and it proves the value of this podcast to Salomon, and that makes it so that I can keep doing this whole thing. All right, let's raise the bar, keep your tips up, and drop in. Dan Parisi, a.k.a. Dano, a.k.a. Dan, a.k.a. the man behind Hug Your Homies. What's up? How you doing?
Oh, doing pretty good. Yeah, it's been a real fun couple of weeks here. Got some good slush, some real good spring skiing around here. And then, it was, Uller blessed us with some snow the last couple of days. So that's been super fun.
Heck yeah, man. So I am here. And I got connected with you because of this little green sticker on your helmet that says, hug your homies and tell them you love them. That sticker has taken on a life of its own. Why did you create them in the first place?
All right. So last winter in December, we lost someone up here to suicide. And he was a big part of this community. Jacob, and he was, really, really ingrained in this culture, gave back to this community a lot. And, I after that made the stickers saying, hug your homies, tell them you love them. I don't know. I mean, mental health is something that is can hide in plain sight. He seemed like he was doing really good at the time, and, wanted to pay respect to him and also, spread that love around the community that we have just, to, in case anybody else was struggling, be like, hey, we're here for you. Yeah.
I think one of the things that shines through the most about the sticker itself and the movement and energy that it's created around here and in the Alta community is that it's exactly to that point that struggling in silence, but in plain sight.
Yes.
That sticker holds energy and has become something that's in plain sight. And it's kind of given a voice to this in the Alta community. And as somebody who lived here for a really long time, I lived here for 9 years off and on. This is a community that didn't have that voice. And so I really respect you for doing it. What is made you the most proud of what the movement has become?
Yeah. I mean, it was something that at first I didn't really think it would be anything. I just kind of wanted to make the stickers, And seeing how everybody responded to it was really an overwhelming support. Made the stickers and was just all right, giving them out, and everybody seemed to love them. So I've kind of struggled with mental health my whole life. So, I understand, but seeing how perceptive everybody was to it was really eye-opening. And I love how much everybody loves it. It's something that this whole community is really passionate about. And I feel like everybody in this community cared about it, but just wasn't really didn't really know how to talk about it. And, Ace has been doing this for years, but I don't know, seeing that overwhelming support, made me feel I could kind of have the freedom to talk about my own stuff a little bit more. It's something that I don't know. Like I surround myself with people who I can, talk to, but I'm not like always or I wasn't always like super open about it. And I don't know, just like mental health and community just tied together so tightly. I feel like I've always, like, whenever I've been struggling the most, uh, I've taken solace in like my friends and like being out and around people. Like, I'm definitely someone that tends to like, isolate and kind of be by myself, and, seeing like how this community responded to that really at least made me feel more welcome, and, really, I don't know. I feel like it kind of helped start the conversation a little bit more. So, yeah.
Definitely. I think, something that's infectious about you, and I think that really comes through about you, is your love of community. And I see the impact that it has on yourself, but I think it's cool that, the movement you've created is not just helping the community, but it's helping you at the same time. And I think that's like the really special part about, any of this mental wellness, mental health advocacy that we do. It is helping the community, it's helping other people, but it's helping us in the process of doing so. So like, I think of like the movement you've created as a conversation starter, which is like what you kept circling back to. So in addition to the stickers, you've got hats and shirts, and I wear one of your shirts that says hug your homies and tell them you love them on the front. And then it says hug your homies with arms like hugging me with the t-shirt on the back. And I have to tell you, like, I get stopped.
Oh my God.
Wow. We just saw Grom really go off punk rock pretty big.
That was sick.
But like, dude, when I'm wearing the t-shirt, like, I get stopped all the time. And like everybody from like a 20-year-old guy to like a 55-year-old mom is like, hey, can I take a picture of your shirt? Like, oh, what's that mean? Or like, they want to give you a hug. And that's really special. What do you think is like so simple about having a conversation starter and creating that space for anyone?
Yeah. I'm a big, I believe in simplicity a lot. I think that hug your homies and tell them you love them is, pretty straightforward and simple, and like it gets the point across without needing to like necessarily talk about like the darkest of things. I feel like talking about like preemptive measures and things that have, helped people, and um kind of just like talking about mental health in a way that doesn't feel so heavy has like speaks for itself. Because at least like when I was first like really struggling with mental health, I didn't know how to talk about it, and it felt like something that was like so heavy that I couldn't talk about it. Whereas just saying hug your homies and tell them you love them speaks about it in a different way, in a different light that feels more approachable. So, yeah.
100%. I love that word, approachable. That is what you've created. And it's cool because it makes it an approachable conversation, not just about mental health, but it can be as simple as spreading love and kindness in that exact moment, all the way to you're creating a safe space for somebody to have a deep conversation, all the way to talking about suicide. And like, that's what mental health and mental wellness is about, is talking about that whole spectrum of the human experience. So I think that's really special. When you kind of like look to the future, like, what's your greatest hope for this movement that you've created and its effect on the Alta community, but even broader?
Yeah, I want to bring people together. I want this to be something that is a source of community. I want this to be something that people see out and about and can like go introduce themselves to people and be like, hey, like, I see that shirt. I've seen that around. Like, hi, my name's, so-and-so. Like, and then it sparks like a friendship, and it starts like something where there's a little bit deeper of a connection with people. And I want eventually to have like a physical location for this where people can go to, and it's like, um, a space where people can, truly be themselves and like connect with people on a deeper level and form, relationships, friendships, and stuff that is like true to them and their mental health. So yeah. I don't foresee this being like, I mean, right now I'm doing a lot of apparel and, stickers and stuff to kind of like get the message out there. Eventually I don't foresee this being an apparel move, and I want this to be like, like a community driven mental health movement. So
You're making it human. That's what it's all about. Well, one chairlift ride, that's the rule. So it's getting sunny. I guess we got to go skiing. But first,
sweet.
Give me a hug.
All right. Absolutely. Bring it with. All right. Love you.
Love you too, my man. And I think it's pretty cool that the space you've created, the movement you've created, made us into friends.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You're making a lot of people friends here. So
I mean, I will say that I've, looked up for you long before this, this came to be. So, thank you for all you do to me. Like this is what it's all about, just getting people talking about it, getting people out and, forming those real connections. So
heck yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's go skiing.
Love it.
Thanks to Dan for joining me for a chairlift chat. Fittingly, it was on the Wildcat chair at Alta, a chairlift that had a big impact on my life, and my conversations on it helped shape the idea of this podcast. After living in Utah and skiing Alta for most of my 20s, this one meant a little extra for me. It's a community I have a lot of love for in my heart, and it's also where I went through the worst of my own mental health struggles. But I went through them in silence when I was there in Alta. Dan and his stickers are changing that and opening space for conversation. My greatest takeaway is that making the conversation around mental health and suicide more approachable and fun and cool is part of shifting the culture of mental health within any community. You can check out Hug Your Homies via Hug Your Homies on Instagram or their website, hugyourhomiesworldwide.com, which I love. Keep an eye out for their drops of apparel, melding thrifted goods with Dan's signature Hug Your Homies vibe and artwork. They've got one coming on Friday. Follow me and the show on Instagram at Drew Peterski and subscribe to the show's newsletter via Substack. Thanks to this episode's sponsor, you can check out all of the show sponsors and any discounts they're offering you as a listener via the website. And of course, all of the above is linked in the show notes. That's it for this ride. Thanks for listening to the Drew Petersen podcast. Until next run, keep your tips up. Ski and enjoy, my friends.